Hey, what's up, guys? Danny here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys an update on Andrew Tate real quick. So, basically, what's going on right now is that Andrew Tate, he's he's in, you know, house arrest and stuff, right? Basically, meaning that uh he can't leave his house until April 29th, right? Right after that, right? I feel like he's gonna move to a completely different country and stuff. So, um let's kind of read this article, and it kind of goes through on a major update on Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate investigation after house arrest. So, Andrew Tate back in jail. Major update on Andrew Tate investigation. Andrew Tate shall be taken back to prison after he fails to oblige by the rules set by the prosecutors to stay under house arrest. After a Romanian court overruled prosecutors' request to hold social media star Andrew Tate in police prison until late April, he was transferred to house arrest late on Friday. So, I personally have not been seeing as many Tate clips as I used to, right? Because Tate used to go absolutely crazy with those clips on TikTok, right? But I don't think that he um, I don't think it's as prevalent anymore, and I feel like the brothers, they kind of understand that they shouldn't be doing this too much because it's gonna make them even more hot targets, you know. In the sphere of things that's already going on, and they already have a ton of money, right? So they shouldn't really be worrying about um, a lot of things. So, uh, since the 29th of December, police have held Andrew Tate, Tristan, and two female suspects from Romania on suspicion of human trafficking, rape, and creating criminal gang to sexually exploit women as part of ongoing investigation. Major update on Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate investigation after house arrest. As per reports, there is a possibility that the Romanian police may take Andrew Tate back to prison after the accused tried to contact one of his victims from his home. Andrew Tate has recently shared a post of a girl who has falsely accused men and was caught lying, with the motive of sharing his own personal truth. Though he might not have directly contacted any of his victims, but is still considered a way of harming the sanity of his victims, who might feel threatened by Andrew Tate's current post for standing up for what they felt was right to do to protect themselves and their families. So, even while in prison, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate had sent letters to the lawyers for the women in the U.S. in December, which comprised of threats to sue women and their parents for $300 million if she did not retract her statement. While letting off Andrew and Tristan under house arrest, the authorities has put up an obligation that the millionaire brothers were obliged to follow. As per the terms and conditions, none of the two parties were allowed to directly or indirectly contact the injured parties in the case. On 31st March, which was the day of house arrest for the Tate brothers, both their houses were checked in presence of the lawyers and were instructed to attend the calls whenever needed. They were not allowed to exceed their boundary or have any kind of communication outside with any party that were associated with the case. Also, to abide by surprise control if the need was felt. With Andrew sharing his truth, the authorities have accused him of breaking the rules of house arrest. Though it might seem unjust, but if he is put back into prison for sharing his truth, the situation might turn bad for Top G. The present situation surely doesn't look good for Andrew again. Uh, and then here we have another article talking about how they could be put back into prison, right? So I do think that the reason they might be put back in prison and stuff. I think that in the future, Andrew Tate and his brother, honestly, they they're just gonna flee the country. They're probably gonna go to Dubai or something, right? Yeah. So let's see. Though the Tate brothers are free from prison, but they are still being kept under house arrest. The Romanian police couldn't provide the court with enough evidence to confirm their speculations on the crimes conducted by Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. But this doesn't end the series of trial for the Tate brothers. Last week, the brothers were again provided with an extension on their detention by 30 days. On Friday, the Tate brothers had arrived in the Romanian court to make an appeal for the exclusion on their detention, though they succeeded. But being under house arrest still proves that the brothers aren't yet clear from all the levied charges. House arrest is an option to being in jail while pre-trial or sentence, limiting the accused movements and being monitored by the authorities at all time. Criminals and accused are put under house arrest when jail time is not considered a suitable measure. With the Tate brothers still trying to fight to clear their names from the charges put on both of them. It might be too early for the supporters and fans of the Tate brothers to celebrate. Being put under house arrest and being allowed to reunite with their families doesn't mean that the authorities have decided to clear their names permanently. Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate may again be imprisoned and be kept behind bars. Uh, in case the authorities gather some strong evidence against the brothers and feel the need to do so. So, this is kind of, the current evidence right now that we have about the Tate brothers and stuff, right? There's not really been too much news. And Andrew Tate's UK accusers are crowdfunding to sue him. 3 women whose allegations were revealed by Vice World News in January hope their civil lawsuit will pressure police to reopen a criminal investigation. 3 British women who say they were abused and sexually assaulted by the manosphere influencer Andrew Tate are crowdfunding to sue him for compensation in a case they hope will encourage police to reopen a criminal investigation against him. The women whose allegations against Tate were first reported by Vice World News in January filed police complaints over the alleged abuse in 2014 and 2015. Their complaints were rolled into a single investigation by Hertfordshire police, which resulted in Tate being arrested twice, but the file was not passed to the Crown Prosecution Service until 2019. The CPS decided not to prosecute, finding that there was no realistic prospect of a conviction despite the evidence in one complaint, including a message from Tate that read, "I love raping you." That decision stunned the complainants, who believed the decision to not prosecute allowed Tate to go on to abuse and exploit other women, including in Romania, where Tate and his brother Tristan were under house arrest. They are the subjects of a police investigation to suspected human trafficking, rape, and sexual exploitation of women in the country. On Friday, the women's page on the crowdfunding site CrowdJusted had received pledges of $8,600 from more than 260 donors with a target of €50,000. Tate, a brash 36-year-old British-U.S. citizen known as the King of Toxic Masculinity, has built a huge online following, right? Tate repeatedly denied the allegations against him. Let's see. To have seen Andrew Tate rise in popularity and influence while knowing who he is and what he has done has been extremely difficult for those of us who were sexually and physically abused by him, said one of the women in a statement. We intend to prove in court that Andrew is abusive, coercive, and controlling, and that his public statements about women are nothing more than fantasy. We are determined to get justice and are ready to fight for it. The woman's civil claim is being pursued by law firm McHugh Jury and Partners, which said in a statement that the claim related to personal injury and psychiatric harm resulting from the number of alleged violent sexual and physical assaults, alongside a pattern of coercive and controlling behavior against women during Tate's time in UK. The firm said it believed the extent of Tate's offending in the UK could be vast and that many victims of his crimes have yet to come forward. While the proposed action could be focused on a civil claim for compensation from Tate, the women and their legal team hope that the case will also build pressure on police to reopen the criminal investigation relating to their complaints. The hope is that taking their own legal action will not only encourage others to come forward, but the police to reopen its investigation and the CPS revisit its highly questionable decision not to prosecute Tate in 2019 when it had the chance. We spent too much time talking about Tate and listening to his misogynistic ramblings. Now's the time to talk about the empower his alleged victims, to listen to their voices and to hear their stories, and perhaps this time the government and the authorities will act. Already, news of the proposed civil claim has sparked political support for police to revisit the investigation into the woman's allegations against Tate. Asked on Sky News on Thursday whether he would support Hertfordshire police looking at the Tate case again, the UK's Crime and Policing Minister Chris Phillip replied, "I would support any police force, including Hertfordshire, looking at any case, including historic cases where they feel there's a reasonable prospect for conviction or there's an offense that deserves or merits investigation." Those comments drew strong support from the deputy leader of the opposition Labour Party, Angela Rayner. "I absolutely agree with the policing minister on this issue," she said. "We have to support women in dealing with this crime, this misogynistic crime. These women have been through so much and they're continuing to fight for justice." Lawyers spoken to by Vice World News said the civil prosecution, if successful, could prove financially devastating for Tate, who has built his powerful online brand and part of ostentatious displays of wealth, especially if it has encouraged other women to join the claim or launch their own civil actions. In a civil action is successful, Tate would be personally liable for the damages and costs for the civil claim to the survivor. This includes any physical and psychological injuries as well as the associated losses such as earnings, disruption in education, and therapy required. This could run into significant sums for Tate, said Danielle Vincent, a senior associate at Hugh James Solicitors. who represents victims of sexual abuse but not involved in the Tate civil case. She said that the abusers could be forced to sell their assets or have future earnings deducted if found liable for compensation. Tate has spent considerable time and energy documenting his alleged wealth on social media platforms, which he may well lose in civil actions, said Vincent. Yeah, so basically, guys, that's my update for today. And he might be put back in jail, but I do think that he's gonna flee before. So, countries that don't allow extradition. Let's see. So I think does Dubai allow extradition? Yeah, so basically, guys, as you can tell, there's a lot of countries that they could go to don't allow extradition, right? So he's probably gonna go to one of these countries, right? You know, maybe get a house, pay very very cheap rent. He has a fuck ton of money and a bunch of different bank accounts, so he already knows what's up. He already knows what to do. So that's it, yo. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys have a great day and peace out.